Hi, everybody, and welcome to this edition of Beyond the Arc. I'm Matt Janus, joined now by the head coach of the women's basketball program here at the University of Delaware, Tina Martin. This is a happy show, Coach. Your team comes in red hot. You've won 2 straight games in conference play, a victory over UNCW, and then a win on Sunday against Northeastern. Both hard-fought victories. You had to be proud of your team.
You know what? We've made some strides. You know, some kids have really stepped up. Defensively, we're starting to play Delaware basketball again with scrappiness and rebounding and diving on the floor and playing really hard. And, you know, our freshmen and our sophomores have stepped up and played much better. And, you know, I feel good about the young ladies right now. And obviously heading into this coming weekend, we've got 2 more conference games. And this conference is crazy. I mean, with all the upsets and overtime games and double overtime games already, and we're only in the first weekend of the season. So it's going to be a wild ride, as they say. And we've got to be prepared for every single game because there have been so many close games and as I said, even upsets. Who knew that James Madison would lose their first conference game against William & Mary? So, for example, who knew that Drexel would lose in double overtime to Northeastern, for example? You know, and the list goes on and on and on. So, you know, I'm really excited about the CAA. It's going to be highly competitive all across the board, and we just have to be ready to go.
It is a bundled mess at the top, no doubt about that. When you look at the CAA standings, you guys are 7-7 now overall, 2-1 in league play, and Makeda Nicholas really coming on strong here of late. She made 5 field goals in her first 11 games. That's total. She's made 12 now over her last 3. She's averaging 10 rebounds per game over that stretch, and she had a career-high 15 boards in the win over Northeastern. How'd she get it turned around?
Well, you know, I think she's a young lady that got, you know, kind of like down about the fact that she wasn't scoring the ball, and we've had some long talks about it, and she's just a sophomore, and you know, obviously she was all rookie last year, and you know, she's a kid that has so much potential, but these kids, they want to do well. They want to so badly, and sometimes they're their own worst enemy because they do get down on themselves. And she was a young lady that her shot wasn't going in, and you know, I call it, they pout a little bit, but we got her out of that. She started concentrating on rebounding. She started concentrating on running the floor. She started concentrating on her defense, other things that she could do to help the team win. And then all of a sudden her offense starts coming around. She starts hitting shots, and she did a great job on Samantha DeFries, one of the top post players who's a senior, you know, in our league for sure. She just played an overall great game. I think it's one of the best games that she's played since she's put on a Delaware uniform, and I'm so proud of her. And her attitude has been so much better, and she's just really, really into it right now. And I can't say enough about her and the other young players too, because they do want it very badly. They want to win very badly. They're great kids, and Makeda, you know, certainly has been able to turn it around. So real excited about her future. And
a lot of good reason to be. You mentioned the defense in your answer a couple of questions back, but what has been the difference? Because if you look at this season, it kind of breaks down into 3 segments right now. You were very good defensively early in non-conference play, then struggled a little bit late in the non-conference portion of the season, but have turned it back around in the CAA action. What's been the difference?
Well, you know, I think the big thing with this young group is you know, and well, I shouldn't say young, inexperienced. You know, they're inexperienced as far as playing in these types of games. Is when we hit shots, when we can make some shots, the kids get a lot of energy and they play so much better. Our defense has been solid, I think, pretty much all year, but we're losing games like 52-50, you know, 56, you know, 50, whatever, you know, and they're tight games. Our offense needed to come around. Our offense needed to show up. And when we're able to hit some shots and able to get to the free throw line and take better shots, part of it was shot selection on the offensive end. But our defense has been pretty solid for the most part. And that has to be stable. That has to be the stable thing for us. And it has been. And this past weekend with the CAA games, our defense stepped up. And now we're taking better shots. And we're looking for one another. And if we can continue to do that, you know, we're going to throw our hat in the ring, as they say, and really challenge, you know, hopefully for a CAA championship. But it's one game at a time. And I think this group has learned through the non-conference, because we did have a good non-conference schedule, that, you know, every night you have to bring offense and defense. You have have to bring that tenacity. You have to bring that intensity. And again, when we weren't hitting shots, the intensity kind of dropped a little bit. And I think they realize now that we're going to have to scrap and fight and claw for every victory this year. We really do. Because there's a lot of talented teams in the CAA. So it's going to come down to effort. It's going to come down to heart. It's going to come down to playing together. And this group has definitely done that in the last 2 games.
On the offensive side of the ball, you have that one stalwart. Erica Brown has scored in double figures in all but 3 games so far this season. She's kind of been your rock. But when you look at the rest of the team, it's been a very balanced effort. Different players stepping up at different times. We mentioned Makeda Nicholas the last 3 games. Hannah Friend in that win over UNCW. She scores in double digits. Courtney Green has made big shots. Hannah Jardine's been there rock solid efficiently on the offensive end for you guys. How much does that type of balance mean on the offensive side?
Well, it means a lot. I mean, it certainly will help us down the road because you can't really key on 1 or 2 people. But the big thing for us is consistency. You know, you mentioned 4 or 5 people there, and at different times they've been consistent, maybe over a game or 2. I need them to be consistent for a long stretch. I need the Hannah Jardines and the Courtney Greens to be consistent and be there with the Erica Browns over the long stretch. And then like a freshman, like a Hannah Friend is going to step in and have a big game, and a Nicole Nabosi is going to step in and have a big game every once in a while as freshman. Makeda Nicholas. It would be great if Makeda can now stabilize herself. So we've got 4 or 5 kids, no doubt, that can score the basketball. Now we need consistency because it's been a different, out of those 5, it's been a different one like every other game. And we just need to have like 3 really consistent scorers going the entire time. And if we can get that, that'll stabilize our offense and then continually giving that effort on the defensive end.
Well, certainly going in the right direction right now. 2 consecutive wins, back to 500 overall at above 500 in conference play. We'll take a quick break here on Beyond the Arc. Come back with more with Delaware head coach Tina Martin in a moment.